What's going on YouTube? It is VA Prince 101, and I have a new mantra now. I have a new mantra because I feel like all YouTube channels need something that makes it different from everybody else. And this is my new mantra. I am the #1 source for NFL news in the Call of Duty community. And why did I choose to do NFL? Well, I love football more than I love video games, and I love Call of Duty. And you know, I really would love to do something inside of a football, you know, something football. I'd want to do it because I love the sport of football. Watch every Sunday. I'll stop everything what I'm doing to watch the game of football. But what I wanted to talk about today in this commentary is week 1. My thoughts on what happened in the games in week 1. And I guess we'll start off with the most anticipated, and I'll only do the big game, so you won't hear me talk about like the Jacksonville Jaguars because they're garbage. I guess I'll start off with the most anticipated game of yesterday, and that was pretty much the Packers versus San Francisco. And the biggest difference in that game, it wasn't even Colin Kaepernick. Anquan Boldin is a man among boys. If you watch how he played, if you watch him catch the ball, he was pretty much bullying people on the Green Bay Packers sideline. And I mean, people were talking about the Green Bay defense has gotten better, but they still gave up 500 yards of offense, and that is that's not good. That's not good at all. Green Bay needs to figure out what's going to happen on that defensive side of the ball, because Clay Matthews did his thing yesterday. Aaron Rodgers played like Aaron Rodgers. The Packers offense will be really good. The Packers will be a good team in the NFC. And the NFC is really deep this year, so you know the Packers will be one of the better teams in the NFC. 49ers are class in the NFL right now with the way that it didn't look like they dominated the Packers, but they dominated the Packers. I mean, their offense just pushed their defense around, and I mean it was like men playing amongst boys. Don't let the 4-point win make it seem like that was a close game. That was not a close game at all. If you really watched that game, you would know that San Francisco pretty much dominated the Packers. I mean, it wasn't like they ran the ball down their throats like they did in the playoff game, but still, I mean, it was just like watching grown men play little boys. But Clay Matthews is still a beast. I'm not going to take anything away from Clay Matthews. The next big game that came out this week was Atlanta going to New Orleans, and in my mind, there's certain games that you just can't win in the NFL. You saw it last year when the Ravens won the Super Bowl. They were pretty much riding off the high of Ray Lewis retiring, and you just couldn't stop them during the playoff run. And the Falcons going to New Orleans with Sean Payton coming back. The emotion that they were going to show was high. I don't expect the Saints to beat the Falcons twice this year. But I did kind of expect New Orleans to pull that one out. I wasn't surprised that the Saints won, even though Atlanta did have a perfect opportunity to win that game on the Saints' 3-yard line, fourth and goal. But I mean, they didn't pull it out, and I mean, the Falcons' offense is just going to get better as they get along. When Roddy White gets healthy, that offense is going to be pretty good. I mean, their defense, they were okay. They didn't really get too much of a pass rush off. I mean, Drew Brees only through that whole game had 9 incomplete passes. So that defense is still a work in progress. I look at their defense like I look at Green Bay's. They're pretty bad, but on the flip side, Green Bay has some type of a pass rush, and the Falcons can create turnovers. I mean, say what you want about the Falcons defense, they can't create turnovers, but starting 2 young cornerbacks, having OCU Miura being pretty much the only pass rusher on their team. Their defense is going to struggle this year, and I mean last year they were top 10 in scoring. So I mean, if they can continue doing that, the Falcons, they're still pretty much top 3 in the NFC, even with the loss to the Saints. Another big game. Geno Smith got his first win in the NFL. I think that really didn't bode well for Mark Sanchez because now Jets fans are going to start. They're going to get on the Geno Smith bandwagon, and I think some of the players that play for the New York Jets are going to, they're already jumping onto the Geno Smith bandwagon. So Mark Sanchez days are numbered in New York. It's real hard for Mark Sanchez to do anything right now. It's with the way Geno Smith went out there and played. He had the game-winning drive, even though he had the roughing the passer when he ran out of bounds call. I forgot the defensive player's name, but he had that, and he played all right. He played better than a lot of people expected. I think people expected, for the Jets to get destroyed by Tampa Bay. And Tampa Bay, I mean, Josh Freeman is on the hot seat. I mean, if he doesn't play well this year, if they don't make the playoffs this year, Josh Freeman is probably going to get. He's probably not going to get called back to the Bucks, and the Bucks are going to go back to getting their asses kicked. Seattle, they picked up a win over Carolina, and I mean, it's pretty much the same story with Carolina. I mean, they looked good. Cam Newton looked okay. He didn't look great, but he looked okay. But they still can't find any type of way to score on offense. I mean, their defense played great. Carolina's going to have a top 10 defense in the league. But the only time, you can see Carolina really putting up points is when they play the Falcons. It seems like Cam Newton plays his ass off when they play Atlanta. And I mean, their offense just struggles to put up points, and until they figure out a way that they can put up points for big dog teams like Green Bay. I mean, I think in his first year he put up points against Green Bay, but it's not. The NFL is about a what have you done for me now, and Cam Newton pretty much hasn't really done anything for the Carolina Panthers. And I mean, Cam Newton is the best player on their team, but when you can't bring wins and you play quarterback, that just doesn't look good for you. Another big game, EJ Manuel had a big game against the Patriots, almost pulled off that upset. He didn't get it, but EJ Manuel has a pretty good career. And the Sunday night game, Cowboys versus the Giants, man, that game, if you're a Dallas fan, you can't be feeling good about the Cowboys. Even though they won, they say they forced 6 turnovers. If you watch that game, I mean, on the screen pass, they didn't block DeMarcus Ware. They didn't ship him a little bit, so he couldn't. I mean, DeMarcus Ware pretty much just sat in front of the screen, which is sad to see. My man's that played running back, I don't know his name, number 22. He fumbled the ball in the red zone. That's just a no-no. You don't turn the ball over in the red zone. And I mean, with all the turnovers they had, I think it's like 6. They still had a chance to win that game. And then Eli Manning threw the pick 6 at the end of the game, which I don't think was Eli's fault. I think it was a running back's fault. But they had to bench their starter because he was fucking up. But that is my recap of Week 1. Subscribe if you love the NFL like I love the NFL. I'm VA Prince 101, and I'm out. Peace.